Hey, everybody. Welcome to Profiling Evil by Mike King. We've got Chris out in the field today. We're going to bring him in a minute. Just wanted to bring you up to speed to what we've been doing. We've been working on the investigation of Kelley Brannon, who is a woman who disappeared about 4 months ago, actually almost 4 months ago today. We are going to release, and we'll put it down below and follow up with this in a moment, but a story map that we've created that talks about the Brannon case. And you can see I'm kind of scrolling through that, gives you a little bit of idea of who Kelley is, some of the circumstance and timeline around her disappearance. And of course, these are all interactive, so you're going to be able to go in and if you want to zoom in on areas and get a little more information, or explore this data more deeply, you'll be able to do that. In addition, the map is going to go into some of the media reports, so you can get caught up on who Kelley is, and then a place where you can get information to report any information on that. What we're going to talk about today, though, is the fact that Profiling Evil was reached out to some time ago by the group of individuals who are looking for Kelley, putting the most effort into finding Kelley. And we were pretty compelled to go out and see what we could do to help. So today, Chris drove down and met with the group in Live Oak, Florida. We're looking at some of the video around the Sunshine Hotel where Kelley disappeared from. And Chris has been on the field. We're going to go to Chris right now, bring him in, and have him fill us in on a little bit of what's been going on today. So, Chris, hopefully you can hear me. The internet, like most of these searches in some of these areas, is pretty spotty. But let's see if we can hear you. And would you please introduce Marvo and Michelle?
Absolutely, Mike. It's great to be here. As we talked about before I left, and we had a game plan here, that Kelley, when she went missing, right, their question was, where's Kelley Brannon? And so everybody has a voice. And what we're going to do today is bring a microphone and bring the attention on a national level to this young lady. And who I have here is Marvin, one of her closest friends, and Michelle, and a whole team of other people, Mike, that have been working on this.
Yeah.
You'll see. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Chris. You were getting a little spotty, so I was just going to let people know and just kind of bring up and talk about what you're saying. Chris is introducing Marvo and Michelle, who are very close friends of Kelley's and have been leading the ground effort in Live Oak, Florida. We're going to go back and see if Chris can pick up and hopefully give us a little more info now. Chris, you're live still.
Okay, so right here is the Sunshine Inn. This is where Kelley went missing. Right there, top floor by the stairs, is room number 70. That's where she was last seen. Okay? The last person to see her was her boyfriend. Okay? The police have been investigating this case as a missing persons case. And so we got contacted to come down here and help out this great search group of friends and kind of bring them some expertise and some understanding of what you guys have been doing and kind of compress information in. Right? So, Mike, what kind of questions do we want to ask here? What are you thinking?
Well, I think maybe what we could do is talk about how they selected the search area today, what influence we had on the search area, Chris, based on investigations that we've been conducting, and then tell us a little bit about how it went.
Okay, perfect. So the question is, a couple of them. How did you select search areas that we went through today? Okay, so I'll start with you over here, Marvel. What are your thoughts?
That was great. One of the locals here, she in Eddie's testimony.
Okay, so the answer is, according to some of the locals in Eddie's testimony, that was kind of some of the information that came in, Mike. What do you want to add, Michelle? Okay, so Eddie is her boyfriend. Would that be right? Okay, and so Eddie was the last person to see her alive, and he's given a couple of statements in relationship to that, Mike. So they have kind of compiled those statements, and what we did today is we searched a variety of different areas. We felt you, me, and them collaboratively coming together and saying, you know what, these are some areas of interest. So if you have those areas of interest, why don't we tee them up?
Yeah, in fact, Chris, thank you for repeating what Marvo and Michelle said, because, again, the audio folks were dealing with a community of about 6,500 people. It's in rural Florida. This is up in the northern portion of Florida, about the center of that Florida panhandle. So think about the upper portion of Florida and just below the Georgia border. But this is, Chris, what we're looking at right now is a map of where you guys are actually standing. We've been tracking everything that's been going on in real time. Right now, you're it looks like the north east corner of the Live Oak Hotel, I believe. Is that right? And then the Sunshine Hotel is the hotel to the right of our picture, or to your direct east.
Right behind me. The Live Oak and the Sunshine are actually one property with two separate names. So, yeah.
It looks like there's a fence that separates you, but there's an opening in the fence. What I'm going to do, Chris, is I'm going to bring up all of the tracks of everywhere you guys have been searching today, and I'll let you kind of walk us through where you've been searching, and then I'll just move the map around so people can get a sense of where you are. And again, folks, we were doing this live so that as Chris and the team there were collecting information, we could catalog where that was coming from so that it could be turned over to law enforcement. So, Chris, maybe you can just cover one of the first stops that you went was into town.
She's got some great friends. So in this room, allegedly, after a fight, and then there was some information that she may have gone this way down the street and went to an area where her boyfriend's truck was being worked on, and that is called Reese's Auto Body. So we went over to that area with some cadaver dogs to take a look at, see if we could find anything.
So, Chris, what I'm doing is I'm just moving the map right down Main Street where she walked or is believed to have walked, and I'm taking him right up to the front door of Reese's shop there. So we're now in the area of that location.
There is like a junkyard with a high grass and a field. So we had search and rescue here who actually works with the local sheriff's department down here. We had two dogs down here, and they searched that area behind the Reese's body, and with negative results at this point.
Okay, so this you went around. We're looking at right now at that area on the map. There's a looks like a pond behind the auto business, and you searched all that area, I take it.
For you, so we'll be able to add that to the timeline as well.
Very good. So then where did you go to from there, Chris?
So from there, Mike, we went behind, down the street a little to Mary's Lake, Lake Mary. And we had the two cadaver dogs and some search and rescue folks with Michelle and obviously Marvo here kind of guiding. And by the way, let me say something real quick about this team. These guys are phenomenal. There is a whole group behind the scenes that nobody knows about yet, but we will soon, Mike, okay? That has put a phenomenal timeline together that we were able to, collaborate with them today and to get some of these search areas. So St. Mary's Lake is also another one of those areas.
That's great. So I'm going to zoom in on the Mary's Lake area, Chris, and I'm going to ask Skylar in the back office if we could pull up a couple of the images for a moment, and he'll let me know when he's ready for that. But we'll show you some of the photographs that were taken today on the map that we'll give you folks on the story map. You'll be able to go in and see those and explore a little bit, get to know the area yourself a little bit. We won't share exact locations of where some pieces of information were collected, and we're going to have Chris talk about that in a moment. But as we go again back to that map and we look at that map, what this area is called is the Heritage Park area, and you can see this high density of where searchers spent most of their time. This was based on information that they had received and that Chris and I have been developing over the course of a couple of weeks. So, Chris, we're now looking at Mary's Lake, and we're looking at the north edge and the most western edge of the park area. So I'll let you take it from there and talk for a moment.
Absolutely. So this is an area. And so the handler took the dogs back separate times into a little wooded area, but there's a correlation to some of the statements from various people, which we'll end up sharing soon, but we want to kind of tie some more things together. I talked to the manager here at the Sunshine Inn, okay? What's interesting, they tell me, is Kelley, okay, is not on video leaving the hotel, okay? Now, that may be contradicting some statements that have been put out there in the environment. That we need to narrow those statements down a little bit more, Mike. So the dog handler wants to wait, and she's going to come on our show and talk about what she wants to take a couple more dogs out there, independent of all of us, because she is part of the search and rescue team here. What she wants to do is see if she can get some additional corroborating scent to make a determination if that's an area of total interest that law enforcement should engage with.
That's great. In fact, Chris, I'm going to just take a second here, and I'm going to show a screen just to give everybody kind of an idea of how many tracks in just such a short amount of time were covered by Marvo and Michelle's team on the ground out there. And folks, there is a batch of people working in the back office on the side of this group of people who have put this search together. And of course, I got to call out the back office at Profiling Evil, who today were busy working in the command center as we threw together things to try to help on this. But Chris, what I'm going to pull up right now is just the actual tracking map that was used today so that everybody gets a sense for how many footsteps were taken throughout the day. And what we're looking at right now is, of course, we're looking at the hotel area first, where everyone assembled this morning. But then as we get out to that search area, I want you to see, folks, what was happening, boots on the ground out there by this team of people. You can see in this immediate area around Reese's auto the amount of effort that was put into searching in the area there. And as we zoom in and out, you'll see exactly how close they got to a lot of things. Now, you see a couple of these points on the map are actually out in the water. That's not, they didn't get into the water there. That's actually just where the signal was a little bit weaker, and so we had a hard time identifying exactly where people were. But then when we get out to Lake Mary to the east, then of course you see this incredible amount of effort that was put into that area there. So, Chris, I'm gonna turn this over to Skylar for a minute and just show some pictures, and we'll talk about those pictures a little bit. You'll have to just kind of visualize as I walk through them. But this is Chris meeting this morning with members of the search party. This is Marvo that we're seeing Chris talk to right now. And as Chris was working through each of the individual disciplines that were in the field, and frankly, folks, again, thanks a lot for people who are willing to step up and go out and try to find folks. These are the search and rescue people with the cadaver dogs out checking specific areas that we had identified. And again, as Chris mentioned, there was a very strong indication in one area that the cadaver experts are going to kind of revisit. They're going to look at the drone footage that was flown. We had Chris's son Dylan out there with a drone flying the area, and we'll post some of that up on Monday, maybe during choir practice. And as we finish up these pictures, Chris, maybe we could just ask Marvo and Michelle or any others that it would make sense to maybe come on for a few minutes on Monday night for choir practice. But maybe by then we'll have a little idea on the cadaver dog results as well.
So Mike wants to know if you guys would be willing to come on like Monday night for choir practice or something and talk a little bit. I know you want to think through some things, right? Because you guys have been working tirelessly for what, 4 months?
3 months.
3 months now. Okay. So, and also Mike.
Gave it a full month before we said we've got this.
So I don't know if you can hear Marvin, but I'm going to repeat what he said. She's been missing for a total of 4 months now. After about a month, this group all got together, her friends, and Marvin has a very close connection to Kelley because Kelley used to go to his house all the time when she was in trouble and crash. In of itself, he'll tell us through the story here. The other thing that we found today is the chickens. We found the house where all the chickens are. So there's a part of this story where they were fighting over these chickens. Well, Profiling Evil, we found where those chickens are, okay? And we actually have photographs of them, and I'm gonna send those over in a little bit. But the chickens are fine, but Kelley's missing, okay? So what I'm trying to establish is how did the chickens in totality get over there? And maybe, Kelley, Eddie can tell us a little bit more about that. I'm sure at some point we'll get. So let's talk about a couple of theories, Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So right now we've got a couple of stories that are floating. Number one, Kelley leaves that room after a large fight with her boyfriend, and he falls asleep in that room, and she just disappears off the face of the earth. Story number two, the manager says they took the video and have provided that video to law enforcement. Kelley is not on that video, according to this manager, leaving. So that means story number two potential could be that room right up there, number 70. And we know that the law enforcement processed that room early on in the investigation, and we're in the process of discovering how we can go back into that room. And I talked to the manager about some things that you and I will talk offline when I get back about some things I think we're going to be able to help out, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's all pretty interesting. And folks, we don't know what's going to happen with this case. What we wanted to do is make sure that you knew that that Kelley hasn't been forgotten. We wish we had more time in our day to be able to look at more of these cases. And we want you to know as you submit things through the evidence room that we are trying to follow up on those things that we can. We have a lot of conversations that we never mention on choir practice or any other time. And while we enjoy being able to bring this information to you and let you share in the experience, our goal is in supporting law enforcement and helping try to bring closure to these cases. And to these great people, Chris, I don't know. I mean, what do you say to this group of people that were gathered together and gave up their Saturday to look for someone that's their friend, and with that, I'll maybe add something at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. This young lady here, they're committed to finding their friend, just like you said, Mike. One of the other key pieces of information I think what we need to put out is this left-handed Stratocaster Sunburst guitar. And there's a couple of different stories now. One, she leaves with the guitar on her back. The second story is the guitar never left that room until later. Okay? So when we get a chance, if Skylar and our producers, you guys in the back room, if you could throw that guitar up, it's a unique guitar. If anybody has seen that guitar from here to Boston, please submit a tip through the evidence room on profilingevil.com. Mike, with that, I'll turn it back over to you, and we'll wrap this up from out here in Live Oak.
Yeah, that's great. And what I'd like to do, Chris, if you could, let's have Dylan come over and stand by you. Give Marvo the phone and let everybody see Dylan. Dylan's been out working his tail off today, running drone imagery, getting video, and this is Chris's son, Dylan. They got up at about 5 a.m. this morning and made the drive over to Live Oak from his home in South Carolina. So can we get a quick shot of Dylan? And then what I'd like to do, Chris, is if you can hang on, we'll just turn it over to folks to ask questions. We'll answer what we can for a few minutes, and then we'll give everybody back the rest of their day.
Behind the scenes,
So,
I'll tell you. Yeah.
yeah, did you hear me about let's get Dylan and get Marvo to take a picture of Dylan and you? Just hold up the camera so everybody can see Dylan. Yeah, and then folks, if
let's pause on that. Let's wait on that before he gets in front of the camera.
Okay, all right, you're protective, but let's pull up a picture of that guitar so everybody can see it, and then folks, I'd like to open it up. If you've got some questions, please shoot them in. We'll answer what we can. Right now, we may not answer a lot of questions, but this is Kelley playing that left-handed guitar, and I think Skylar can get that to flip sideways, but if not, we won't worry about it. We'll post that up online. So yeah, let's go. Are there any questions, Skylar, that folks have? And while we're doing that, I want to just shout out. I mean, we didn't give you a lot of time, but Chris, we got Andrea K. In fact, Andrea K., you're the only one that guessed the right person, I think, on the list as we were asking who you thought we were going to be talking about today. Half Rudder, Shug, Four Sons Mom, Sherry Thompson, Blind to Binda 123, Crystal Ron, Donna, Melissa, JRS. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate your support. We felt like we wanted to throw this together real quickly for you. A lot of folks are asking where Eddie is, the boyfriend. I believe Eddie is at home in Massachusetts or something, isn't he, Chris?
Yes, correct. Correct.
And
Mike.
was he aware that the search was going on and just chose not to come or couldn't afford to come or what?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we spoke with Eddie a few days ago. He didn't mention this search that I remember. We actually got this through the Facebook page and the folks we've been talking to. So the question was the guitar stolen out of of JR's room? That's one of the theories. We don't know. Some people have suggested that, including Eddie, that she might have walked down the street with her guitar on her back. Others have suggested, no, it went to JR's room. And so those are questions that we haven't been able to answer yet. Can't answer the question, Chris. Maybe Marvel could help us on this. Any idea why they did not search the gravel pit area?
Any idea why the gravel pit area has not been searched yet? He doesn't know. That may be a new area. If that person can kick us up some longitude, latitude, that would be interesting.
Yeah, folks, this is where you can step up with the evidence room if you know of something that you know about. One of the other questions that popped up was, did she get into a car? There is lots of discussion around the voicemail. We'll leave it at that. Chris and I have been analyzing that voicemail message. There are some things out on the web that are kind of interesting about that voicemail message. We just don't know the answer, but that is one of the scenarios.
Yes, and that could be a red flag or a red herring. We're not convinced yet.
Yeah. Here's a question that Marv or Michelle could answer. Why would JR and Chuck and Amber rent rooms at the Sunshine Inn when they live in Live Oak, or is that their residence?
So the question is, why would Chuck, Amber, and JR rent a room at the Live Oak, or is that their residence? At the Sunshine Inn, excuse me, or is that their residence? Yes. Okay, so the question is, that's not verifiable information yet, it's rumor. And so I don't have the answer to that yet. It's not substantiated as fact, so it's speculation potentially as to why they would have rented in either one of the hotels.
All right. Well, Chris, let's give everybody the rest of their day back, and folks will invite you to listen in on Monday night for choir practice. We'll have maybe Marvo and Michelle or a few others from the Find Kelley team on for a few minutes. And then just to remind you that we have some really big guests coming on Monday night. Again, it's choir practice. We just have fun, and things get kind of crazy. This one, we really appreciate Chris getting up early and heading out and taking the time to go do this. Chris, anything you want to leave with?
So, Mike, here's what I want to leave with. You and I have just started on this one, and we've done a lot of analysis already behind the scenes. You know, we're two old codgers that fell off of a turnip truck, right? And so, as a result of that, here's what we want to say. Okay? Everybody has a voice. Kelley has a voice. Where is Kelley Brannon? What we're going to do is become a microphone for that voice with a lot of other people. We're asking our true crime community to start weighing in and ask, where is Kelley Brannon? We're going to find her. We're going to jump into this, and we're going to help. Okay, back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Chris. Folks, please help us. We're going to ask all of our YouTube crime community creators to join in making this a topic of discussion. We hope you'll pray for the police department in Live Oak and for this group of people that are working so hard to try to bring justice to Kelley. And again, it's been 4 months, and she deserves a voice. So we'll see you on Monday night. Thanks for joining us for a bit today.